isäntä matkallaan täytyy särkeä.
Hello and welcome back to Finland for the second half of Europe Now. We're here at the harbour of Helsinki, just in front of Kauppatoori Market, a place where today tourists come to stock up on souvenirs. But it's also, of course, where tourists and locals alike get the boat over to the myriad of nearby islands. As promised in this half, we're going to focus on finance. Finland has the reputation as being one of the most generous welfare states in the EU. But after 3 years of recession, unemployment now tipping 10%, the government is trying to pass some of the harshest austerity measures in. Rowan Bersteker tells us more and shows us how a fist bump among ministers felt like a slap in the face to many Finns.
Bumping fists celebrate one of the toughest austerity deals in Finnish history. The labor reform includes a yearly 24-hour increase in full-time work with no additional pay, a reduction of holiday bonuses, a freezing of wages until 2017, and increased pension and insurance contribution for employees. The gesture between the two ministers was seen as an inappropriate show of exuberance at a time where the whole country was asked to make sacrifices.
In Finland and other Scandinavian countries, it's really exceptional that the government takes such initiatives and tries to set collective labor standards.
After an initial backlash, Finnish unions have reluctantly begun to sign off on the pact, which they hope can help restore the country's competitive edge. Finland's economic demise can largely be traced back to the fall of telecoms giant Nokia. Its purchase by Microsoft in 2013 cost thousands of Finnish jobs and brought the country's tech industry down to its knees. Since then, Finland has struggled to emerge from an extended period of economic stagnation, with unemployment still hovering around 10%. Along with labor reforms, Finnish authorities are now experimenting with another solution, the universal basic income. Under this system, which would replace the existing social security, every Finnish resident would receive a fixed income, around 550 euros a month, regardless of their situation. The element of unconditionality ensures that working a low-paying job doesn't disqualify anyone from receiving their monthly check from the government.
The philosophy is pretty simple, to give possibilities and to encourage people to take risks without being afraid of losing their social security benefits. The other idea is to make a safety net more tight so that nobody would fall throughout the safety net.
Caught between austerity and welfare, Finland is walking a political tightrope, trying to revitalize a stagnating economy while holding on to its social traditions.
Well, the fall of telecom giant Nokia was a bit of a national tragedy, but since then it led to the launch of a host of startups, often led by ex-Nokia employees. Well, to speak a bit more business now, we can join Carolina Kansikas, a 23-year-old who works with business innovation. Carolina, lovely to meet you. Now we're going to check out your business or your work day in just a few minutes. But firstly, we've just been looking at a report that evoked this idea of universal income. What do you think about that plan?
Well, I think it is something worth trying in Finland, and I think we have the structures that can enable us to try the national income out. But I'm not sure is it a measure that can solve all the Finland's problems, because to solve the problems in Finland we need to look at competitivity of the companies in here. We have seen, well, as you said, the decline of Nokia and also the decline of the paper industry. The aging of population, these are problems that need to be solved before the trying out a restructuring of the subsidy system in Finland.
Sounds an interesting plan. Briefly, a lot of Finns seem to believe that the current economic climate, it's a bit doom and gloom here at the minute, and they're blaming the euro. What do you think?
Of course, there was an easy solution before the euro that was devaluating the money, the currency, and yeah, this is not available anymore, but I don't think the euro is really the problem. It is just something additional that has come.
Okay, well, I'm excited to find out what exactly is going on in behind these doors. An innovative project, I believe, involving a bit of IT?
Yes, also that.
Okay, well, lead the way. Let's find out more. Carolina believes she has the solution for all businesses, an app that brings companies, entrepreneurs and customers together online.
I think it will really help startups and large companies to come together and to bring innovation to Finland.
Which is more like getting new, fresh ideas also outside, how young people see and how students see how we should develop our services and how the new entrepreneurs and startups actually, what kind of services they need.
Carolina developed the app with two fellow students, spotting that startups had trouble getting ideas known, while big business struggled with innovation. They built a platform to unite the two. They hope their company Vinci, Finnish for winch, will lift the idea up. They just have to pitch it successfully to the investors first.
Kun hyvinvointivaltiota Helsingissä luoda, julkisivuduunarit ne Tallinnasta tuoda, rauha, ei mistä halua.
Carolina, nice to see where you work. Now we're seeing somewhere very popular, obviously, to eat here in Helsinki, and in front of quite a typical little red house.
Yes, well, it's made similar to the houses that people have on the lakeside here in Finland. And yes, it looks pretty. It's made of wood and...
Nearly everyone has that kind of summer cottage near the water, which is also the advantage of Finland. Now we're about to look at a report about school systems here. Very different in Finland. There's not really standardized tests. You know, it seems to be topping the charts around the world in its levels. A lot of austerity measures we saw earlier on in the show being put in place by the government, but also they have new plans perhaps for school reforms.
Yes, actually, they're planning to have a more holistic approach in their education because they want to, instead of having subjects, they want to center the education around problems or great challenges and things like that, which I think is very interesting because it kind of takes away the boundaries that are given by the different subjects and gives space for the applications.
Exactly, so we see exactly what we do with maths rather than just sitting talking about the theories.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's an interesting concept for sure. Well, for now, Johan Bodan takes us to visit a school in Helsinki to see exactly what it's like for children there, and also he looks at the education system for the teachers themselves, a very hard profession to get into here in Finland.
As a mother of two, Johanna has many burdens, but finding the right school for her daughters was never one of them.
There are no private schools in Finland, so only public schools. There was no question about it. I trust the teachers and the school system.
Since Finland reformed its school system in the 1970s, Finnish students have consistently ranked among the best in the world. In Leni Leonsari's class, it's time for an anatomy lesson. Her students are only 11 years old, but they're already fluent in 3 languages: Finnish, Swedish, and English.
Stand up and face your partner. The person who touches the correct place first gets a point. Collarbone, the shoulder blade.
A combination of study and play, these lessons only last 45 minutes.
I suppose that's just my personal style. Of course, sometimes we have the boring days and boring lessons, right, kids? Yeah. But whenever I can, we try to do something which is a bit active, a bit funny, something like that. I think that's the way to make the kids remember things better.
A philosophy that even applies to maths.
We've been talking about volume and mass.
To organize these group sessions, Leni brought everything from her own kitchen.
Here, so if this is this much, how much is this?
Here, written exams are rare, and teachers are given complete freedom to use their own methods. Videos, tablets, and smartphones, nothing is out of bounds. And sometimes it's the teacher who falls behind.
50 years ago, the teacher was the person who knew everything. But now the kids sometimes teach me, especially when it comes to new technology. I can be totally out of it, and they're like, Lenny, don't you know how to use it? It's easy. And I'm like, okay.
Completing hundreds of hours of training to become a teacher, that's the key to the Finnish model. The master's degree takes 5 years to complete, and the process is extremely selective. Less than 10% of applicants are accepted. Alina passed the entrance test on her second try.
We sort of see teachers as professionals, like really hardcore ones. And to get in, we know that it's hard to get in. So he or she knows exactly what they're doing in their classroom. And sort of, it's a very independent job as well. We put a lot of trust in them.
Making teaching one of the most admired and coveted professions in the country could be the secret to Finland's academic success.
Okay, Karolina, we've arrived at part of your university campus. Tell me exactly, what is this particular building? Startup Sauna, it's called.
Yes, well, it's a building of an incubator of startups, and people can come here and work on their startups. It's very interesting because you can find startup founders here and every kind of people,
so
investors.
It's a mix of students and, businessmen.
Also businessmen, because they organize events for fundraising and skills. Yeah, networking.
And I quite like the decor. It's very different. You've got these small little cabins replicating, I guess, the sauna, which is a very Finnish thing.
Yes, but instead they have meetings here and they can work. But yes.
I've been told, though, that the sauna for the Finnish, it's like a daily activity. Even after work, you can actually have business meetings in an actual sauna.
Yes, actually there is a joke that all the most important business meetings take place in the sauna after the actual meetings.
It's quite nice, though. I think I could work well here. Well, I'm going to chill out for a while, and I'll let you go and meet with the MEP who's waiting for you in another part of the building.
Yes.
And I'll see you after it. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I would like to start talking about the Panama case. What do you think about that, especially concerning the relations of Finnish banks?
I think many people in Finland are surprised too, as we were thinking that we are a non-corrupted country, we are better doing the openness in our taxation, and we have a day that all the taxation files are open for the public. Yes. So being then in the situation that our own bank is also involved seriously, it has been a shock for me, a shock for Finnish people, that it is so common also.
Entrepreneurs in Finland, many are already moving to Estonia to have lower tax payments.
In Finland, last government already took it down, the corporate taxes, that the company tax is 20%, so it's not very, very high to compare to other countries. But in Estonia's system, you don't pay any taxes before you take your wins out of your profits out of the company. So that's one difficulty for us, that people compare the companies compare 0 and 20.
As we are here in Aalto, and this is my university as well, the government of Sipilä has been, making some cuts to education, and many people have not agreed with them.
First of all, Finland has a very difficult financial situation, and then the balancing the budget is a challenge. So yes, I have feelings that the right-wing government, that they are in a difficult position. But then I must say the right-wing government made a choice, and they are not investing in the future.
One measure proposed, and which will be tried in the future years, is the universal income.
I'm in favor of making the social security system more clear, because now there is many incomes that people without job have to have something housing help and then help for the basic income to have. And if you can make the clear system, that's good. But I think it still needs to be promoted that people will work and be part of the society actively. What is your background?
I actually was born in Italy, in Bologna, and I grew up there, and I moved to Finland to come to the university. Two different countries, but I think that they could learn a lot from each other. Here in the School of Business, we have like a lot of opportunities for practical experiences in business, which is vital for having a good career. And in Italy, then it's very theoretical. So I think these two countries could communicate more often. And
we are proud in Finland that our education is quite close to companies and close to the working life.
Thank you very much, Miapetra. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So, Karolina, how did you find that talk?
Well, it was excellent. Miapetra has very constructive points of view, and I think I find myself in agreement with many things that she said. For instance, concerning the universal income, I believe that we really need to give people incentives to work.
Well, we're running out of time in this show, Karolina, but I believe we're saying goodbye in front of a pretty famous building for Finns.
Yes, it's a building from Aalto, a famous Finnish architect. I believe the most famous, and also the name of my university, because it was designed by him as well. So
I have to say I'm a fan. I find it quite pretty myself. Well, thanks a million, Karolina, for showing us around your